Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update Show. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by TokenMetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money, whether the market's going up or down, then like and subscribe to this channel. Also, turn on the alerts button so that if we have to go live in a crazy situation, you get notified. Let's say hello to everybody who's joining. Taz, good evening. San Paulo, Brazil, welcome. Birmingham, England, here as usual. Tyson is like, Bill, give me some good news. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's go smash the like button. Star, I appreciate that. Good afternoon from Barcelona, the Caribbean, Luxembourg, Flagler Beach, Florida. Okay. We have Malaysia, Estonia, Dallas, and Oklahoma back-to-back in the chat. Texas and OU back-to-back. We have Illinois, Honduras, York, England. All right. And Poland is in the house, along with Buckinghamshire, England. Okay. Ken, I welcome you. We've also got Boston in the house. All right. And I want to take a moment to just thank everybody for tuning in. All right. We got Argentina and all over the world. So you're probably sitting there going, damn it. You know, this thing looked so good yesterday. Now it looks terrible. But this is what we talked about, right? You can have a core position and then it's not a bull market until you can buy a dip, right? You want to be able to get the dip off any of these like geopolitical oh my gods that are inevitable given what's out there happening. Now, I'm not going to go crazy, but I actually think fear is our friend in February. So if 2 days ago or yesterday, you were looking at this market going, it's mooning and I'm missing out. And now you're looking at the market today and you're going, oh no, it's going to zero. Okay, this is what markets can do when they're in the process of shaking people out, potentially before decent gains are made. Okay, so that's risky. I know it's risky. All right, I want to say hello to Skynet out there if he's listening, for giving me some love on Twitter. I appreciate that. All right, the UPS truck is still rolling. All right, Nikki. Always thinking about you in the UPS truck. I appreciate all my viewers the same, but I definitely appreciate anybody listening in a UPS truck. We've got India, we've got Spain and Toronto in the house, as well as Turkey. All right. Let's do the deep dive. Okay. So if we get the dip or the dip's deep, what are we going to do about it? Oh, yes. Here's our friend, Vladimir Putin. Showtime is an American cable news channel. It ran a couple years ago, a series of interviews with Vladimir Putin done by an American filmmaker, Oliver Stone. It is available. I've seen it on YouTube. Mr. Putin makes certain things clear. One, he's not happy with the change in power in the Ukraine from 2014. He's definitely not happy with then President Joe Biden giving a rousing victory speech to the Ukrainian parliament. He set up his army, okay, on the border of the Ukraine. Just a couple issues. One, the army isn't big enough to fully occupy Ukraine in the event he took it over. It's actually 1/3 the size it would need to be if he was going to fully take over the country So that doesn't seem likely, right? You also might have problems fueling that army, even if there was a limited incursion. So it's not just about weapons, it's also about logistics. So if he can't take over the country and his forces can only go so far, what's he doing? What's he doing? Well, here's what he's doing. He's trying to scare everyone. He's trying to scare the stock market, right? And he's trying to basically create an event where the American economy gets brought down on its knees just from fear alone. So let's talk about soybeans. There's always a little thing or two we do from Legacy. This is soybean futures. Russia has stopped exporting fertilizer. Therefore, the price of soybeans and food is skyrocketing. Okay? So if Vladimir Putin can't get you with a tank, he's going to get you with inflation. So it would be perfect for Mr. Putin right around the release of an inflation statistic in either February 10 or March 10 to inflame the situation to scare everyone. So that means if the market is going to get spooked by tanks, it might be around economic data points like Fed meetings or inflation. So Mr. Putin is doing a good job of scaring the soybean market, and he's also done a good job at scaring the equity market. This is VIX, the fear index in equities. Now, it was up at 30. Okay, it's still above 20. It hasn't spent much time above 20 going back to May of last year. Now, obviously, we're in a little bit of a different world. I get it. But fear is still high. It's not low. Okay, it's not, at 14. But VIX at 22 is still pretty high. Right? Now, why is everyone afraid? Well, I mean, everyone's scared of Mr. Putin. I get that, right? But as one article I read today said, you want to take war seriously, not literally, okay? So if it's not World War III, or actually what I'm telling people is it's not a repeat of World War II, because if you watch TV, that's what they're trying to tell you. Not a repeat of World War II. And the printing press is still on, even though the Fed's got to raise rates. So whether the inflation number is bad or not in a couple days, what's everyone so upset about, right? The printing press is still on, which to me means if you get the deep dip, you dive in, which is why this is the deep dip, deep dive. Say that 3 times fast, okay? People are afraid. The more afraid they are, the better it is for the month of February, in my opinion. So if you get the dips, you got to take advantage of the dips. Because if you can't make money being long now, you can't make money. Now, naturally, you want to use a stop, but in my head, for this month, right, next 5 days, you get these dips, take advantage of them. Mr. Putin is handing you a gift unless he's going to try to blow up the world. Now, let's look at S&P futures. Okay, people got all upset. This totally broke down. Everyone protected themselves against a crash. And now S&P futures are sitting around support near 45, 43. Okay. Now, interestingly, S&P, if it holds, actually has a shot at going higher. So it's a big question mark. I'm not saying I'm in love with equities, right? I'm not. But if equities are stable, crypto can go up. Now, I really like this. Somebody in the chat is talking about the truckers. Those truckers are getting mad love up here in Ontario. And somebody else says, go truckers. Okay? Really interesting point, right? So, when it comes to, I don't know, should we say situation management? Let's call it that. How are centralized government authorities handling, the sort of health situation? Are they showing you that centralized thinking is good or bad? Every time I see an Ontario trucker or a Canadian trucker, I think, wow, I want a decentralized crypto world, right? And when I see leaders and tanks and people fighting, I was like, no one wants this. This is like something someone else cooked up. What do we want? Okay, well, what we want is crypto. Okay, we want crypto. All right, let's talk about where the risks are. So any good analyst, they'll give you a view. So the view is we're going to buy the dip in the next 5 days and hope that the next 4 weeks are awesome. That's the bottom line. What are the risks to that view? Well, the risks are that something happens in Bitcoin, right? Something happens in Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't look that great on, like I say, intraday chart. It could be a bear flag. I also noticed, looking at data from a website called Skew, that purple bar on the left side shows people are buying a lot of $30,000 strike put options. What does that mean? Well, it means that, people in the market are afraid that Bitcoin's going to go below 30 and they're buying insurance. All right. Now, there's also a lot of open interest and option activity at the $50,000 strike, which probably means big holders of Bitcoin are using those options to try to give themselves yield. It's not yield farming, but it kind of is, right? So if I own Bitcoin, I'm going to buy insurance and I'm going to pay for it by selling another type of option. So you can definitely see the footprint of big players and big fear in Bitcoin. Now, Megan said way back down in the chat, I saw that flash in, war equals more money printing. What an excellent point to make. I was going to make it. I had it on the sheet, and I'm so glad Megan brought it up. Let me ask you something, people. Is the Federal Reserve stupid? Right? Are they going to just walk right into Vladimir Putin's trap? No. Right? They have a meeting coming up in March. They know they have to raise rates. But if you got tanks and planes and, food prices going up, the Federal Reserve is not going to, make fertilizer more readily available by stopping QE. So this whole idea that, it's the end of the world every time the market goes down, especially now, no. You want to buy when people are afraid, and when people aren't afraid anymore, then you want to sell. We'll get to that later. So way to go, Megan, for bringing that up. Okay, now let's also talk about something that's, got a good and a bad side by looking at the Ethereum chart. Naturally, at the bottom, everybody was going nuts because the red line, that's the 50-day moving average, crossed below the 200-day moving average. That's the black line. Okay. So that's called the death cross. That's what they call it. It's from equity market lore. Now, it's not a good thing, but frequently in my experience with these averages, when they do this, is that there is a rally back up towards one or both of the moving averages before the market makes its decision as to what it wants to do next. So even though it is kind of a negative environment, obviously, if I told you ETH could go up to 3,250 or 3,500, you would tell me I was crazy, which is exactly what I would want someone to say, not you. But if people think that can't possibly happen, then it just might. Remember, the technical analyst that I first learned from, a guy named Bob Farrell, my father would bring home his research from Merrill Lynch, and I would read it as a kid. He was the first professional technical analyst at Wall Street. And he had a famous saying: if everyone expects the same thing, something else happens. So if everybody expects war, crash, depression, blow up, crypto nuke, something else might happen, particularly in the short term. That something else could be ETH 3,500. That's a good thing to bring up on a dip day, because tomorrow could be a dip day. Now, 2850 is resistance. I get it. A lot of smart traders that bought it at 2,200 are selling. No one on the trading side has any real interest in buying here. I get that. They're looking for a deeper dip. But I don't know if they're going to get the dip as deep as they think they are. Some people may be thinking new lows. I don't know. I think shots are going to have to be fired from that. So you might get the deep dip, but it might be quick, right? You're going to have to be fast. That's what I think in Ethereum, right? So Ethereum and altcoins have already demonstrated that they can go up while Bitcoin's going sideways and everyone's hiding under the table, afraid of all the problems out there. So let's take a look at ETH at a tactical level. So if there is a dip in Ethereum, the deep dive would be support probably around 2,400 or 2,600. So if they want to smack this around, if they're going to start with, troops are moving here or troops are moving there, somebody actually may be dumb enough to try to shoot at the Russians, right? That actually might happen, right? Because the military industrial complex worldwide benefits from conflict. Okay. Like the truckers in Ontario. It's like, we don't want that. We want crypto. We want freedom. Okay. So, if they wind up hitting ETH to either 2,600 or 2,400, I'm going to be honest, unless it's the end of the world, it's not going to stay down there long, right? We got a 5-day dip, and the worse it looks, the more I want to get involved. I know that sounds crazy, but again, if everybody is expecting, I'll lose money. Okay. But I think you buying the dip or trying to get involved, right, assuming it's not the end of the world, could lead to a real turn at the end of the month. Okay, let's look at some of the Token Metrics AI indices and what they're telling us. Okay, the FTX Daily Exchange Index. So these are the coins that, our AI has picked from FTX on a day in and day out basis. So it makes the case to have a subscription from our sponsor, tokenmetrics.com. Now, one of the tokens, it's got 20% allocated to FTX and 20% allocated to Kyber. All right. Kyber has been going up while the rest of the market is going down, kind of a cross-chain trading theme. I can definitely see it hanging out around 2 and eventually moving to 3.2. That downward sloping channel, that can be bullish. That can be bullish. So if our AI is into Kyber, I'm staying into Kyber. All right. Kyber shows up on the Kraken index along with synthetics and ironically XRP. So big YouTubers into XRP. This is the second day in a row I'm actually seeing it show up in our index. So I'm almost like, wow, this is kind of like big news if it lasts, right? I mean, the longer our AI index on Kraken continues to pick up XRP, it makes me wonder, hey, is our AI seeing something's about to change there? Right? Now, I don't want to create false hope, but I think our AI has a really good track record of picking up on stuff, that other people aren't seeing. So really interested about that XRP chart. Now let's look at Vulcan. Okay. So metaverse, 2 days of mooning range, right? And then it mooned again for 2 days and now it's dipping, right? So everyone, who FOMO'd in all the way, right? They're selling today. Now, I didn't want you to FOMO in all the way. I wanted you to have a small position and then be able to take advantage of dips. So when you get these dips like today, I think you got to take advantage, right? You don't have to bet the rent money, but you're going to have to pick the coins you like. So a lot of people have asked for Vulcan on the stream, so I led with that. Okay. When you pick the coins you like, you're going to have to buy them when it looks awful. Now that's twice as hard in a bear market, right? When you're in an overall downtrend and you're trying to buy dips and there's scary news on the tape, it's almost impossible. I mean, in our VIP customer webinar, the first question is, why is ETH down 6% today? Right? It freaks people out. Of course it freaks people out. Right? But that fear is what leads to opportunity, particularly in things with narratives like NFTs and the metaverse. Now, switching gears, Chainlink. Boring, right? Well, maybe not. You know, you got to start using your imagination here. In research, okay, you get paid for imagination. Imagine a world where NFTs and metaverse actually lead a breakout in layer ones, and then a renaissance in DeFi follows. Because it appears that we're done with the whole time in Olympus situation, which, you know, thank God I never had to chart those instruments, right? What happens if DeFi reorganizes itself? What happens if people go looking for a real yield, like a yield that's better than inflation? That's DeFi. Chainlink at 15, right? 1 minute, Chainlink is at 28, and then everyone is like, oh, in 2 weeks, I've completely given up, and Chainlink is going to 0, so I'm going to sell it all the way down to 15. So everyone wanted it at 28. No one wanted it at 15. Come on. Chainlink has to be something to look at if you're looking for a slower moving crypto that's not like, you know, that doesn't move at metaverse speed. Okay, Luna, 2 points. Would love to see Luna hold at 50. There is the possibility of a move to 20. There is a chart formation that is not good. It would be amazing to see Luna take out 71. So it would be great if we could see Luna get it together and start moving higher. That could be tremendous. Could also be bad. Okay, in Luna, you have to remember, I'm just going to be straight with you. If you're long this thing and you're long it from up top, you got to ask yourself, can I handle a move to 20? Hopefully that does not occur, because obviously my dip strategy will not work. All right. But, you know, if you're a believer, then 50 is the level, and you got to get the rally above 71 for confirmation. Just make sure you think about your risk management. KuCoin, okay, is looking at Kyber Telos, which is moving along with FTX. Okay, let's talk about FTX. All right. Now, I got jerked around on this. I saw this thing take off, and then I'm like, this is going to be the Binance coin of this bear market. And then FTX got hammered with everything else, and then it came back, right? Like, how many tokens have come right back to where they were before this whole like dump started? Not that many. Not that many. Well, guess what? FTX is back. And if FTX, right, can take out 52, it's going higher, right? And it looks like people are just about buying any dip here. Now, there's obviously some sort of fundamental shift happening, but if we have to, like, if it's not the crypto market, but the market of cryptos, if our AI is into it and the chart looks okay and there might be a story behind it, hey now, right? Total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's keep it simple. This is altcoin market cap. Altcoin market cap probably has to go up $50 billion from where it is right now. If altcoin market cap goes up $50 billion and stays there, it will invalidate this bearish pattern in altcoin market cap. Okay? So there's a chance that if a big altcoin rally starts, right, it may continue for a month, maybe even 2 months. That said, if you don't get a $50 billion rally, or you get a $47 billion rally in altcoin market cap, then you may have to just take your profits and come back in October, because this is not a good formation. In the short term, I think there's room for altcoins to do better. And if you can get involved now and not get stopped out, because again, you are using a stop. If you can get involved now, right, and use a stop, and the market gives you kind of an upside surprise, then you might be able to go with this whole trade. You'd have trade location. So it's either a short-term trade or maybe 1 or 2 month trade. Bottom line is altcoins have got to do something big. They might start slow, which is what we're trying to take advantage of. But big picture, they got work to do. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana. Okay, this NFT narrative, I think, benefits Solana. Solana has recovered above 100. That was a key Fibonacci support level at 62% of the entire move up. I think Solana takes out 117. You're going to see 200 or higher. Now, if Solana doesn't take out 117, then I'm basically just taking up airtime. I think in order for this thing to move, you got to have ETH hold 2,500 and go to 3,500. And you got to have Solana hold 100 and blow through, say, 117. Okay, just got to blow through there. Now, I think Solana can do that because this whole NFT metaverse narrative helps that layer one. Also, no one's talking about Solana. Everyone's just kind of forgotten about it. Okay, same thing with Avalanche. Okay, I think Avalanche at 70 is as kind of silly as Avalanche above 150. In other words, at 150, it was excessive. And then Avalanche in the 70s is like probably where you want to buy it, I think, right? Because obviously this market is not going to get going on a sustained basis without a big move in Avalanche. Like total altcoin market cap is not going to recover without Solana and Avalanche. All right. So I would anticipate that on dips in these big coins that they would recover, right? Because what they did on the downside was excessive, right? So if you liked it at 150, then at 70, it has to look attractive, right? Okay, near protocol. Okay, let me just give it to you straight. You've heard it before. I'll say it again. I think this thing is going to go parabolic, right? So if I'm wrong, well, then you can call up and say, okay, Bill, you have to ring the gong 3 times because you're a dummy. I got a better idea. Let's skip that and have near go to 32 or 50. Just the way Solana and Avalanche moved, so can near. Like the NFT, DeFi, metaverse narrative, along with interoperability, is right here. Our fundamental guys like this, and this is, this is not a secret. It's not on Coinbase, but people are like it's like they're asleep. It went from, 6 to 20 and then back down to 10, and now no one's interested. Well, I'm interested. I'm interested because I think this is going to lead the entire market. You might have been listening earlier going, wow, Bill, really? You think ETH could actually get to 3,500? How does that happen? Well, 1, you have to not have World War III, and 2, you have to have near, right? Near is going to lead Solana, Avalanche, and ETH higher. This is underpriced, and this whole altcoin narrative this week has taught you anything. Like post-Fed, I said the printing press is still on, licensed to speculate. And even I was surprised with how well altcoins did. So don't underestimate what near could do. And I even think Polkadot could get involved, right? Polkadot could get involved. You could have a move up to 31. That's crazy. Yeah. But sometimes in research, you want to maybe think crazy. You have to use your imagination. You're like, hey, what happens if everybody goes, let's go crypto? Okay, Cosmos, weekly chart. What's Cosmos done this week? Not much, right? Where's Cosmos relative to its high? It's off its high, right? Cosmos was at 44, and now it's trading at 27. It'd be better if it was trading above 28, but the whole story of Cosmos is still there, right? It's still there. So if you get, volatility this week, maybe Cosmos can hang in. And if Cosmos hangs in and near goes parabolic, then maybe Cosmos can go to 50 or 80, right? Because, we have had to call on this. Our fundamental guys, right? Our journalists, our fundamental guys, chart guys, we've been on top of this, right? So it's like, oh yeah, we were on top of it and then we forgot about it. No, we're not forgetting about it. We're like laying in wait. We're like, okay, here they come. Here comes everyone selling. Everyone's afraid, right? Don't trade CNN. Don't trade the nightly news. Trade the charts. When everyone's trading CNN, look at your Cosmos chart. Rose talked about this. Our fundamental guys like it. Everyone packed it in, gave up, gave you a 50% markdown. Notice how we're seeing some slow green candles come back in. So it may not do as well as near, but I can see this possibly picking up. I can see this picking up. Synthetics, right? One of the things that gave you the bottom of the market last time was that synthetics was actually trying to go up before everything else. Synthetics was actually trying to rally earlier in the year before we all got caught. Right? I saw synthetics rallying in January. I'm like, oh my God, this is going up. I got caught. Okay, I got caught. So I don't know if synthetics is a buy right here, although I said that yesterday and it's up 10%. Don't mind being wrong about that. If synthetics continues to have a bid, I think it means DeFi, like Coinbase DeFi, coins that have reorganized their token metrics, their tokenomics. That could be Aave, Chainlink, Yearn Finance, Sushi, Synthetics, okay? DeFi Perp, right? If you can't figure it out, don't worry about it. They have DeFi futures contracts. I think it takes one big green update, in DeFi to confirm a bottom could be in. In sum, this is the deep dive. Okay, it's the sequel to LFG, NFA, BTFD, right? How to play the dip. It will be psychologically uncomfortable. You might get stopped out. You might also make a 1x or 2x return if everybody comes to the realization that, yes, there is fear out there, but markets climb the wall of worry. And what market climbs the wall or goes up faster than crypto and altcoins? Okay. So one final chart. All right. Nano noticed, okay, really interesting trend line structure. Okay. It's hit down here at $2. This has been destroyed. And this idea of a digital cash solution is not dead, particularly if there's a lot of fear in Bitcoin. So somebody is going to benefit from all of that fear. Now, let's go back up here. Okay, let's go back up. All right. We'll leave our friend up there so everybody can, not be scared. Think about it. All right. Let's go to the chat and see what's happening. So we have Australia in the house. Somebody's hitting the like button out there for us. That's good. Okay. I'm going to switch from this to my chart software. Okay. Potential inverse head and shoulders in Luna. So somebody's looking at the Luna chart and has a different viewpoint on it. I'm glad. I do want to see Luna hold 50. I don't want to have some chart in my bag that goes, oh, okay, well, this is what will happen if something terrible happens. I definitely don't want that. So I'm glad somebody out there has got something constructive for Luna. Okay, so this is RMRK, all right, because I know someone's going to ask about that. Okay, this is an 89-minute chart. So if you're watching this 3 days from now, it may not be relevant. But as you can see, we have to look. You have to look here at what's happening. All right. Somebody wanted it on a dip on a technical point. Now, does it mean it's going to go to the moon from here? No, but you do want to see somebody want it. So if it's, if the market winds up down 10% today, then it winds up down 10% because this is the deep dip, deep dive. All right. So someone's asking for MATIC and Zilika. Okay, let's see if I can get Zil up here. Stay with me, people. Okay, Zilika on a 4-hour chart doesn't look so bad. Okay, now we see this in all other places. So this is Zilika, the daily trend. The big question is, what does this mean? This like consolidation where everything just sort of sits still and doesn't move. My point from yesterday, so let me label this, right, in case you're watching the video later. Okay, when you look at these charts or these coins, and I know that people ask about these things because they're trapped, right? You want to see people be willing to pay higher prices. Well, right now in Zilika, every time it gets into a resistance zone, okay, people are selling. So there are going to be components of crypto where every time they get a rally, they're going to be like, hey, I'm getting out. And there are other things like FTX where every time it goes down, people are like, hey, I want to get in. So, you know, the market's down a lot, so there are bag holders everywhere. What you want to see is you want to see bulls more powerful than bag holders, right, during dips and after dips, okay? Okay, Ian should be pleased with AGLD. Okay, that's up 120%, insane. I did see that. So let's take a look at AGLD. All right, so really nice move here. But the thing is, it's maybe too nice in the sense that, you know, it's got to get through some resistance at $1.60. Now, what is AGLD telling us? It's telling us something. It's telling us that if you got the right crypto in the market of cryptos, that the upside potential is big. Okay? Like this is what happens when there's a fundamental catalyst and everybody wakes up, you wind up with a 40% gain. And I actually think this could happen across a wide range of altcoins, not just this little one. Okay. Okay. Some love from London. We appreciate that. Let's take a look at MATIC. Okay. So MATIC, like a lot of other coins, right? This is very discouraging. People are asking about it multiple days in a row, right? And it's kind of painful for people. But that's okay because it looks like people are giving up around $1.50. And when I look at this chart, right, if I'm drawing this picture right around $1.50, this could be where the bottom is because previously everybody had given up on MATIC in places like this right here. Given up at this level multiple times. They gave up here too, right? It was like, oh, this is not going to make it, right? Everyone's talking about this being a top 5 coin. Now there's a geopolitical problem and all of a sudden that's changed. Come on. No way. No way. I mean, the only thing that's changed, the geopolitical event everybody needs to pay attention to is what's going on with like the trucker guys. That's what they need to pay attention to because that's the world looking for decentralized authority. Like, you know what? We want something different. There's nothing wrong with wanting something different. Okay. Helium. Okay. So there's clearly people selling, right? But there's also support around 25. So my guess on Helium is that you're going to see buyers at 25. All right. You're going to see buyers at that level. Okay. Okay. People asking about Rune, kind of the house of personal pain. I don't know. Just shocking, in my opinion, that it even went down here. But I understand that, you know, the market is the ultimate arbiter of what's going on. I love this cross-chain DeFi theme, right? But buyers have to step in and be willing to pay higher prices. Now, the one thing I can say about Rune is that this consolidation after this dump looks very similar as to the consolidation from the last dump in the summer, right? It took quite a while for Rune to get it together back in July. And I'm not going to lie to you, folks. I want this to go up, right? I mean, we were talking about the X DeFi wallet today, okay, which is kind of a play that could be connected to Rune in a way. This like cross-chain trading, cross-chain DeFi. I mean, it is very outside the box. And I know one smart crypto player. His name's Redphone Crypto. He's an anonymous person, but he actually think Rune could go like massively higher. I don't even want to say it because the last time I said it, it dumped. But, you know, every time Rune dumps, I mean, it paid to buy it last time. Now, I don't know if that's still true, but the story is there. The story is there. So if you're bag holding in this, you know, yes, it can go lower like everything else, but I don't know. If I was holding it and trapped, I would wait and see what happens in February. That's not investment advice. That's just how I would do it. Okay, crypto.com. Okay, so if we look at crypto.com just at a tactical level, you know, it looks like it had problems around 40 cents. So say 43 cents. That's where, you know, the linear regression band was on the intraday chart. So that probably means Pro's got to go sideways or dip possibly down over here to 35 cents, right? I mean, that people would be like, it's, you know, if crypto.com went through 45 cents, that'd be great, right? And maybe the dip won't be that deep. I kind of hope it's not, but nothing is going to surprise me, right? If people FOMO'd in, then it may make sense for crypto.com to come back down and, I don't know, retest either 39 cents or 35 cents. But at the end of the day, just to drive the point home, okay, when crypto.com moved off of its lows, okay, it looks like a 5-wave structure, which leads me to believe that, you know, this little up move is kind of like an uptrend. So if crypto.com goes, you know, to, I don't know, 38 cents, if there's a dump today and a dump tomorrow, you know, I'm telling you, I don't mind. I'm saying to myself, okay, I've only got so much time available to make money in crypto on the long side. I either got 4 weeks or 3 months, 4 weeks or 2 months, something like that. Let's call it 4 weeks or 8 weeks, right? If you tell me that I got 4 to 8 weeks to take advantage of the fact that people are too afraid, does that make me more or less brave to go, all right, if this thing dips, I'm stepping in? So it's not investment advice, it's mental advice, right? There's money to be made, and if this thesis is right, then you buy a dip and you use a stop. You know, you don't have to get every idea right. You just have to get the big ones right. So if there's a chance at people going, wait a minute, maybe this is not as bad as we thought, maybe, then it's worth it to take the risk. If we're wrong, okay, well, you know, F it. We'll just go back to the bear market. But I think it's in your head, I think it's worth it to say, yes, it is worth it to take some risk or not. You have to make that decision. But for me, that's how I want to play it. That is the deep dip, deep dive. Okay, so we got more people flooding in here. All right, more people flooding in. Somebody wants to look at Uniswap. So I'm going to keep everything tactical. All right. So there's not much of a trend to read, but I am kind of interested in the fact that, you know, a big red candle in Uniswap was followed up by at least people trying to buy the dip. Okay, so this is the Uniswap daily chart. All right, so you're just going to watch me draw on it here, see if I can get rid of some of this other stuff. And I've been drawing this one particular thing in some DeFi related coins. Oh, look at that. Right, this is like the trend line du jour, like the soup of the day. This type of trend line has been working in DeFi. I don't know, folks. There's a good case that the lows are in. I mean, I know tokenomics is not the best. I know Uniswap might have U.S. regulatory problems, but I'm sorry, folks. I am not going to say, oh, gee, I'm going to be the worst creature in crypto. It's called the late stage bear. It's like, gee, Uniswap went from 18 to 9, and now I'm bearish. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just not, right? Especially since it held this kind of trend line support. Now, I think Uniswap realistically has got to be above, say, 1188. So people know where this level is in Uniswap. It went there and it failed. So bulls and bears are going to battle it out. They're going to battle it out, right? In other words, what does Uniswap have to do with stocks, with who's in charge, who the dominant security player is in Eastern Europe? I don't know. That doesn't seem to matter to Uniswap or to DeFi. If anything, it might actually help DeFi because uncertainty, okay, keeps the Fed at least, rhetorically they can get tough, but if the printing press is still on, altcoins can recover. They can recover, right? I mean, crypto is not like stocks. We're not dependent on economic growth, right? Like flip it around. If something scary happens or there's a COVID problem, right? Anything that keeps the Fed going, even if it's bad news, and we don't want more of bad news or more COVID or war, obviously. But when you look at Uniswap, think about it, right? What creates a Federal Reserve that just wrecks everything when there are so many other uncertain events out there? The Fed has to do its job, duh, right? But they don't have to plow everybody under, right? Everyone's hedged and ready for the world to be plowed under. Uniswap goes up one day and everyone sells it. Everyone dumps it. Okay. Well, yeah, you know what? F that. Take it from them. Take it from them. That's the whole LFG NFA thing. It's like, or LFG, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, let's take a look at a couple more. Okay, somebody asking about Audius. These altcoins, they're kind of teasing you, right? They go up. Okay, so here's Audius 89-minute. So if you're watching this a month from now, this may not be relevant. But then again, maybe it is, because this is when you go to your 89-minute or your 60-minute chart. This is when you do it. So Audius goes up. Oh, look at this, right? Where does it go? To the 62% retracement. I learned this a long time ago when I didn't know anything about altcoins. I'm on this live stream with this guy, Oh Hey Matty, right? And he's like, yeah, if you get a rally and you see an altcoin and it retraces to its 62% retracement and holds, it's good. If it goes below it, it's not. But if it holds, it's good. So, people get chopped up. They FOMO'd in. I get it. I felt the FOMO yesterday. That's what, but I was telling you, you can have a core position, So if you buy a small amount of something at, say, $1, right, but you don't put the whole load in, then you get a dip to like 91 cents. It's cheaper, obviously. And it's easier to get involved because they were selling it this morning with reckless abandon. And it's not investment advice, but I don't know. I can't believe Audius below $1 is a bad investment. That's how I would say it. And again, of course, that's not investment advice. Let's see if I can look at Serum. Okay, so again, very similar type of situation, right? Very, very unusual structure. Okay, let's see if I can draw some Elliott wave on this. Okay, so that may or may not be right. Okay, but wait, look. See, they take Serum, and here's another important fib number. So a lot of times if you're in an uptrend, you get a 38% retracement. It's totally normal. Now, naturally, if you're looking at this candle, if you're like waking up in the morning, you're like, oh, good morning. And the market's like, yeah, hey, dude, there's a Russian tank outside your apartment. Everything's going to zero. Oh, my God. Right. So this wiped out a lot of gains. But what happened? Buyers came back in. They came back in. And that's what you want to see, right? So, if we close out the day and Serum is holding, it's not just about Serum, right? It's what I'm trying to tell you about how to look at your coins. How do you know whether or not buyers are active? How do you know whether this theme of, buy the fear now, sell the joy later, right? We got a lot of room for joy given the amount of fear. I mean, it's like one down day today and everyone's like, oh my God, the sky's falling. It kind of looked like it did. The sky was falling, but that's the whole point. Every time it looks like the sky is falling, okay, at least at this stage, you can try to get involved, right? You don't want to buy the dip in May, folks. Don't do it. You want to do it now, okay? Not investment advice. All right. Yes, I covered ETH. All right. So Tony and Routine, thank you for noting about ETH. Right. Ethereum's probably got support between 2,600 and 2,400. Okay. So I don't know how deep they're going to do the dip, but I don't know anybody talking about Ethereum going to 3,500. I don't. All right. And I know we have somebody in IMX. So let's take that. All right, so if you're trapped in Immutable X, what should you do? Okay, so this is an 89-minute chart. All right, and I don't have the 5-wave structure here. So let's go to 4 hours. Okay. So I think if we're looking at Immutable X, here's how we would look at it. This is like the 4-hour chart. Now, this is kind of the case of think positive, right? So Immutable X starts out at 4.2 and goes to 2. So in yellow, that looks like the give up trade. That looks like everybody just going, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. Now this over here, this red square looks like a consolidation to try to go back up. So maybe in Immutable X, the intellectually honest way to draw this is to say something like back to $4, right? In other words, it's kind of like a correction. It may in a downtrend, but it may be able to make a new high to either $3.60 or $4. Now, is this the best looking chart I've seen today? Probably not, right? Let's look at the daily. Okay, but I think if you were stuck in this and you're like, should I stay or should I go? Well, I'd say, you know what? Maybe put a stop in and see what happens. Because again, people are selling near resistance. So resistance is at 3 and people are selling. Bulls have to demonstrate that they can take it beyond 3, right? Or 312, really. Now, that's every technical analyst says that. Well, if we just get confirmation. Now, there is no confirmation. The question is, who's in charge? The bulls or the bears? In Immutable X, honestly, who's in charge right now? Probably the bears, right? Because people are unloading on it every time it goes up. Now, if it's above 312, what would the message be? If it's above 312, the bears are out of ammo. Okay? So that can be something to look at, right? Something to look at. Who is in control of the coin that I am trading? When it dips, even if it's scary, are there buyers? These are the questions you want to be asking yourself. You're going to be asking them all week. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record because this idea of a deep dip, deep dive is something important to consider. Now, Cardano, all right? So Cardano is undoubtedly making everybody upset, right? Because it can't move. It can't get off dollar, right? All right. So this is kind of classic, right? We go to an 89-minute chart of Cardano. So if you're looking at it, a bigger picture level, it may not give you as much. You're going to have to go to low time frame charts. You're going to have to go to low time frame. Okay. Now, when Cardano goes down, okay, when you had this sort of sharp drop, buyers are showing up. All right. Now, the day is still young. I have done these streams. I have turned off the computer, and then the market is 15% in either direction. Okay. Sometimes against me more than for me. The most important question is, when the market is scary, do buyers show up? I suspect they will. Now, why would they? That's another question. Why would buyers show up? Well, because everyone is all sold out. Right? In other words, why did people show up today in Cardano? Well, they realized that they basically puked it all right here. They puked it all. They've been puking this for I don't know how long. And think about it. Go back to what I was saying about altcoin market cap, right? Solana, Near, okay? All of these coins, AVAX, even Ethereum, how many people on YouTube are saying, you know what, you should get long altcoins because Cardano's going to go to 150? Nobody. Now, that's not a price prediction because, obviously you've got trapped longs in Cardano. Can you imagine what this market would be like if Cardano went to 150? If someone said, you know what, I'm sick of war, I'm sick of the Fed, right? I'm sick of COVID. I want crypto. Is that so absurd? Well, whoever's buying Cardano right now, that's what they're thinking. Will it work? We'll see. But that's why I did for you, the deep dive, the deep dip, deep dive. So tell your friends, hit the like button because we need that. We need you. We appreciate you. Okay. And that's going to be it for today. That is going to be it for today. I will see you 5 days a week at our new time, which I believe is 1 p.m. Eastern. I will help you throughout the dip. I will help you around the inflation number on the 10th. Okay. I will be here to help you. So stay tuned. Watch the video. Okay. Driftless Crypto, thank you. Okay. Bubba, I appreciate you. Okay. Alzania, you're welcome. All right. As well as Logan. All right, guys. That's it for today. I will see you tomorrow.